they don't show Jesus as a black man. They show him as a white man.
Yeah.
With stringy hair, thin nose, thin lips, blue eyes, no melanin anywhere on him. And we know, but they called him God.
Yeah.
So now, whenever you see a white man, you see who? God. Whenever you see a black man, you see who? The devil. Just the opposite. Mansa Musa comes out of Mali in the 1300s. And Prophet Muhammad comes around the 1400s. Wait a minute, slow down. And Mansa Musa already knew about Islam. And Bilal comes out of Ethiopia, knew about Islam.
Okay.
Then how does Prophet Muhammad become the father of Islam? Now, slow down for a second.
Yeah.
So now the missionaries came to change the religious, spiritual system of the African. Because...
What's up, guys? Yeah, welcome to Come Slide TV once again. And I'm here with someone. I think we are becoming friends now because this is like the third video we are doing. And in this time, I'm going to ask him about something he talked about in our first video. He talked about Africa being indoctrinated. You remember you said that?
I do, yeah, I do.
So today, I'm just here to ask him to throw more light on this and let's see what we can do about this indoctrination. So it's basically going to be about how religion, not just Christianity, has affected or has eaten deep into Africans and the effects it's having on us. That's what we are going to talk about today. I hope you are cool with this conversation.
I'm cool with it, brother. Yes, sir.
So let's start by the fact that you said we have been indoctrinated. How or why did you say that on the first day we met? You were talking about a whole lot of things that was affecting Africa. You talk about indoctrination and talking about religion affecting us. Why did you say that? Was it based on your experience after coming to Africa or you knew it before coming?
All of the above.
First of all, introduce yourself to them once again.
My name is Tony Riddick, family. I am from the United States of America. I'm African at heart, but I am from the United States of America, and I'm here back in Ghana.
Okay, cool.
At Nungwa.
Nungwa.
One of my
Always
favorite
Nungwa.
places. Yeah, it's very important that we do the Nungwa thing.
Okay, sure. When we are doing it right here in Nungwa, Western Hotel.
Yeah.
So please, about the indoctrination and about religion affecting Africa or, having impact in Africa. I don't know if it's positive or negative, but that's in your hands. I want you to touch on this.
Well, I would like to really go into this word religion differently.
Okay, cool.
I don't see religion quite the way that a lot of people see it.
Okay.
Personally, I see religion as a necessity, but I'd like to clarify that.
Okay, clarify it for them to know.
Yeah, so
that you are not against religion in any way?
Not at all.
But
not when you look at it in the proper context.
Okay.
So let's reclassify what we call religion.
Okay.
So I look at religion as a system of reliance, as a way of life.
Okay.
So if we look at religion as a system of reliance, in the word religion, rely.
Okay.
If we look at it as a system of reliance, then there's nothing wrong with having a religion.
Okay.
Okay, now let's back up just a little bit.
Okay.
So we were very much spiritual people before any of the invaders came.
True.
Very, very much. We were spiritual people.
We used to worship before they came.
Long before they came.
Okay.
And our spirituality was our system of reliance.
For those who don't know, when we say before they came, we are talking about the missionaries, the Christianity religion and the Islamic religion and all other religions that are in Africa right now. So when we say before they came, that is what we mean. So yes.
So if you piggyback on what you're saying, and if we believe that our spiritual system was our system of reliance, meaning that we relied on this system.
True.
All of the principles that were part of our traditional system were necessary in order for us to function in our day-to-day lives.
True.
So prospectively, there's nothing wrong with what you call religion if we're looking at it from a system of reliance. Okay. Now,
So where is the twist then?
the twist comes when the missionaries came in,
Okay.
when the conquerors came in, and they saw that we were such a spiritual people, and they saw that how closely tied we were to the spiritual world. They even saw that we gained power by having that close proximity to the spiritual world. So their desire at that point was to interrupt that.
Okay.
That's why when Constantine came into Egypt and he saw us worshiping the way that we worship, he devised a plan to interrupt that. But let me go just a step further. All religions, especially the main three monotheistic religions,
Which are?
Christianity, Judaism, and Islam,
Okay.
all of them have their origin in Africa.
Okay.
And all you have to do is visit any of the pyramids and observe the writings, read about the writings that are on the pyramid walls, and we'll quickly come to that realization.
Okay.
The most popular religion in the world today is Christianity.
Sure.
Some 2.3 billion. Islam is right behind it with some 1.4 billion. Within both Christianity and Islam, you find the traditional African principles, African practices, African way of life. You find it in both those.
Yeah.
But what they did, because we were such a spiritual people, is that they took our spiritual systems and they altered them. For example, there's nothing wrong with us gaining power from men
From.
or women, from men or women.
Okay.
Our parents are our first teachers.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with honoring and respecting men who are coming, women who are coming with great knowledge. It is the African culture to respect and honor that. So when so-called Jesus comes on the scene some 2,000 years ago, bringing the African principles, we embrace this concept. When they twist it, they don't show Jesus as a black man, they show him as a white man.
Yeah.
With stringy hair, thin nose, thin lips, blue eyes, no melanin anywhere on him. And we know that even if you look at the work that the great Sheikh Anta Diop did with UNESCO in 1974, when they proved that the original Egyptians were African. Diop proved that.
Okay.
So now, if that is the case, why did you make him white? You made him white because you wanted us to worship that which we were not. You took us out of our natural element. And once you took us out of our natural element, and the Christians not only had us worshiping him, but they called him God.
Yeah.
So now, whenever you see a white man, you see who? God.
You see Jesus.
Whenever you see a black man, you see who? The devil. Just the opposite. So this silliness has corrupted our spiritual system.
True.
But the fundamental practices and basis of Islam and both Christianity are African at the root. And we know, brother, we know the history.
Yeah.
So if we are to believe that Christianity originated in Europe, that's also false.
Yeah.
It's totally false.
It's false.
You know, all you have to do is go and Google the African origins of Christianity, even the African origins of Islam. And all of the information is there. We are the originators. But what happened is when the missionaries came in. Now, I want to just talk briefly about the missionaries because I want everybody to understand some facts here. In the year of 1996, it was the 104th Congress in the United States of America that commissioned both the CIA and the FBI to come before the Congress. They posed the question, are missionaries involved with destabilizing developing countries? And the answer from both the CIA and the FBI was yes. Now think about this. That means that the missionaries are going in and they are corrupting the mind of people in developing countries so that they can gain access to their natural resources, so that they can gain access to their educational systems. Look, if you Google the oldest university in the world, it's going to tell you something like Oxford University.
Yeah.
Well, what about the Temple of Luxor? What about Timbuktu? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, Timbuktu.
Timbuktu is in Mali, where Mansa Musa come from.
Okay.
Now, and see, now, really what has to happen is that you have to reevaluate our understanding of Islam. Now, you think about that. We have to if Mansa Musa comes out of Mali in the 1300s, in the 1300s, and Prophet Muhammad comes around the 1400s, wait a minute, slow down. And Mansa Musa already knew about Islam, and Bilal comes out of Ethiopia, knew about Islam.
Okay.
Then how does Prophet Muhammad become the father of Islam? Now, slow down for a second. I am not trying to cause any confusion.
Sure.
I'm just asking questions and I'm talking.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So now the missionaries came in. Admittedly, they came in to change the religious, spiritual system of the African, because they knew that we were naturally the most spiritual people on the face of the earth. Both the Quran, both the Bible has to bear us witness. We are God's first creation. In the book of Genesis, chapter 1, at verse 26, God made man in his image and his likeness. The book of Genesis, chapter 2, and at verse 7, God formed man from the dust of the ground and breathed into him the breath of life, and man became a living soul. The book of Genesis, chapter 2, verses 10 through 14. Towards the end of 14, that area encompasses the whole land of Ethiopia. So where God blew breath in this man encompasses the entire land of Ethiopia. Where's Ethiopia?
Africa.
It's in Africa. What does Ethiopia mean? Burnt face. Now, the Holy Quran says God formed man from black mud
Dust.
and fashioned him into shape. Why am I saying this? Because if these books are real, if you believe these books, why do we ignore these scriptures? Now, if these books are accurate, then the books are telling us that the first man ever formed had to have been what?
Black.
A black man. Now, if we're the first creatures formed, that means that God put the blueprints in us for life.
Sure.
Let's get back on track. On track.
Okay.
We're talking about religion.
Yeah.
And I'm saying religion is a system of reliance.
Yeah.
A way of life that we all should adhere to. Whatever your way of life is, whether it be Islam or Christianity, it's your system of reliance. The effectiveness of organized religion is real. You can see the effectiveness in organized religion through the Zionist movement with Theodore Herzl in 1897, 1896. We can see the power of organized religion. When you look at the Jewish people, they are 2% of the world's population, some 15 million. But they control nearly 70% of the world's wealth.
Yeah.
There is an organized system in place. Otherwise, they couldn't do it.
True.
You cannot do it unless there's an organized system in place, a system of reliance in place.
Yeah.
You cannot. There's no way you can do it. So if we understand, say what you want to say about Saudi Arabia. That's an example of an organized system of reliance that works for them. You don't have to agree, but
you can see.
You can see it.
Yeah.
You can see it.
Yeah.
So because you can see it, there's nothing wrong with religion if it's used to move a people and a culture forward. But the opposite has happened with us.
Okay.
When you look at America today, 80% of Africans in the United States of America, African Americans, they call themselves Christian.
Okay.
Okay?
They call themselves.
They call themselves
By
Christians.
the way, before we continue, are you one? Are you a Christian?
No,
also?
not from the aspect
Okay.
that we understand Christianity today.
You have your
Not
own.
from the aspect that we receive Christianity from our slave master. No,
No.
not at all.
Okay.
But the word Christ comes from the Greek word Christos.
Okay.
The word Christos means to be anointed.
Okay.
Anointed is to be filled with the power and the spirit of the Most High.
Okay.
Now, am I a Christian from that perspective? You damn right.
But
Now-
not what they claim. Not what they claim.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's important that we understand how these things are working. Now go back for a second. If the 104th Congress in 1996 called the CIA and the FBI before them and posed the question, are you using missionaries to destabilize governments? And they said yes. Then why are we allowing missionaries in Ghana today? Please, listen. One of the largest and fastest growing land owners in Ghana is the Mormon Church.
Yeah.
You didn't hear what I just said.
The what church?
The Mormon Church. The Mormons, I don't know, these guys riding around on bicycles.
Oh,
Yeah, white guys. You see so many of them
I
here.
think they are Jehovah's Witnesses.
No, they're not Jehovah's Witnesses. I think they're Latter-day Saints.
Latter-day Saints.
Yeah,
They wear
yeah.
white top.
Yeah. They are buying
tie
land
and
in
yeah.
Ghana like it's going out of style. You hear what I'm saying? And what they're doing is that they are further indoctrinating the people of Ghana. Now think about this.
How did you know this, first of all?
How do I know
Have
what?
you encountered any of them before?
Oh, yes, I saw them here. And I recognized their uniform.
Yeah.
You understand?
They wear the same uniform in the States?
In the States, same
okay.
thing,
Okay.
same thing.
Okay. So back on track. I don't want to.
No. You're fine. You think about this. King Leopold in 1883, he already understood. Now, King Leopold in 1883, remember now, the Berlin Conference was 1884 to 1885. Remember that.
Okay.
Now, the Berlin Conference, they split up Africa amongst the European nations, right?
Okay.
They split it up amongst Europeans.
Okay.
Now, King Leopold in 1883 comes out of Belgium.
Yeah.
And he comes with an official letter. You can Google the King Leopold letters that soften up the missionaries. The missionaries soften up the Africans and prepared them for slaughter. King Leopold killed over 20 million Africans in the Congo in the name of religion, in the name of Christianity. Over 20 million. But it wasn't until they softened you up and they redirected your spiritual understanding of your God. This is why when we come here, I worship with the traditional Africans every Sunday, bro.
Traditional African.
Traditional
It's a church?
African spiritual system. It's called Africania.
Okay. Where is it?
It's at we worship at Abajo at the Art Center.
Art Center, yeah.
Uh-huh. They pour libations, traditional libation pouring. They beat drums. We sing music. The priests will teach. We ask questions, and we're outside. We do it the way the traditional Africans would have done it. We study African literature, African documentation. These are the things that we do to try to reclaim our spiritual understanding, because Islam, both Islam in its current form, Christianity in its current form, has corrupted the minds of the African people. I am not saying that you cannot use a religion to move us forward. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the opposite.
You cleared that even from the beginning.
Yeah. No, listen. No state, federal entity operates without being organized. You follow me?
Yeah.
No government operates without being organized.
Yeah.
China doesn't cling to any particular religion. You'll hear a lot of them that might say they're Buddhists, but they don't cling to any particular religion, but they have an organized system. True. Singapore doesn't cling to any particular religion, but they have an organized system. Listen, the Jewish people that come from Ashkenaz that are in North Africa now, they dominate based on Judaism because it's an organized system. Right? And so religion, if it's looked at from that perspective, is healthy.
Other than that,
It's no good. Other than that, it's no good. If you don't see it as an organized system for moving your people forward, it's no good. Look, if you are in a religious setting and the only person that's benefiting is the preacher, then you're in the wrong setting.
true.
You know, and when you
And that's
look,
what is happening in Africa.
that's what's happening in
The
all
pastors, the
across the entire
prophets,
world.
okay, they are rich, they are wealthy, not just rich, they are wealthy, they have everything, but the church members keep giving
Oh my
every
gosh.
day. It's not,
terrible.
and it's not just Sundays or just Saturdays, it's from Monday to Monday.
Yes.
Sunday to Sunday. Tuesday to
Absolutely.
Tuesday. Every time they are doing this. And they have neglected what our forefathers used to do, pouring the libations, doing their incantation, doing their everything. If you are following that, you are seen as you are practicing voodooism, which they have made you believe that it is totally wrong. You are not doing godly stuff. And that is where we are now in Africa. That is how our spirituality you talked about in the beginning has been reduced to the lowest form. Once you like, you can't even mention your ancestors or anybody that
No.
you can't do that now.
But look at this. It's very disturbing. They don't want you to mention your ancestors.
Yeah.
However, when you pray, they teach you in Christianity to pray in the name of Jesus.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
When preachers open up, before they preach, they say in the name of Jacob, Isaac, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Ancestor veneration. This is what they're doing, ancestor veneration. They don't want you to do it because they know there's power in it.
Okay.
Right? And
Is there power in it?
absolutely, brother. Listen. Can I just talk to you?
Yeah, talk to me.
So,
How did you discover this power? How did you know that there is power in this?
oh, brother, listen to me really good.
Yeah.
You know, I'm African living in the United States. My ancestors were kidnapped.
Okay.
I come from a very high spiritual family. Very, very high spiritual family.
Okay.
When I was a little boy, whenever anyone was sick, we would call our aunties or our uncles over to pray.
Okay.
Back then, we didn't take medicine. You understand?
Okay.
My aunties and my uncles, they would pray. And whatever sickness you had, it would go away. There's power in the spiritual system.
Okay.
Now, I want to give you a story. This is fact.
Okay.
This is fact. 100%. I saw it as a little boy. One day, one of my cousins was sick. They were crying repeatedly, would not stop. It was in North Carolina. I was probably about 5, 6 years old. That night, it was snowing. It reached about 2 o'clock in the morning. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, I'm here.
And my grandmother called one of my aunties. Her name is Naomi Baker. We call her T-Night, right?
Yeah.
She said, T-Night, the baby won't stop crying. Something is wrong. My auntie said, listen, you know it's snowing outside. I can't drive. I can't come out at 2 o'clock in the morning. It's snowing.
Yeah.
And in North Carolina, we didn't have good plows then for moving the snow. So no one really drove. So my auntie asked my grandmother, well, what is wrong with the baby? My grandmother said, Peaches, I don't know. They call my grandmother Peaches. My auntie said, take the telephone, place it on the baby's stomach. My aunt began to pray. And as she started to pray, everything in the stomach was released. Are you hearing me? Everything, and the baby stopped crying. I can give you so many countless stories like this. I saw this with my own eyes.
You were young.
I was young. Okay. So my family relied on prayer.
Okay. Okay.
When things weren't going right, they relied on prayer. When they needed something, they relied on prayer. But please understand, the prayer was an inner connection with the spirit in you. You are soliciting your inner spirit. And the inner spirit will travel. It will make things happen without your physical presence. This is ancient African spiritual practice that was being carried on by the former slaves in the United States of America. Many of them today still do it. No one can convince me that there's no power in prayer. There's no power in the spiritual world. I see it.
Okay.
Then when I come here, I further see it.
How?
Oh,
Where?
because at Africania, where I go.
Yeah, at center.
Oh, brother, I see it all the time at the Art Center, through the Africania movement, the way they pray, the way they worship, the use of the drums. And think about this. I want you to think about this. During slavery, they had something after the slaves were freed called the slave codes in South Carolina specifically that banned the drum.
Okay.
Because you could communicate with the drum, and slaves 50 miles away could pick up and receive the information and know what to do based upon that.
Yeah.
So the Europeans got that understanding. They banned the drum. You understand? So we see this type of movement here.
Yeah.
Even in Africania, we pour libations. In the book of Genesis, chapter 35, at verse 14, Jacob poured libations.
Yeah.
Why do you stop us from pouring libations? The thing is, they have corrupted our spiritual system. And once you corrupt a man's spiritual system, that man is dead.
Okay.
You understand? He's spiritually dead once you corrupt his spiritual system.
And once you're dead in spirit,
That's it. The physical will follow. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now there has to be a move.
Okay.
A very aggressive move to reacquaint ourselves with our natural spiritual system.
Okay.
You won't get it in the modern day churches.
Okay.
Because the modern day churches have been corrupted. And many of the preachers that are participating in the modern day churches don't even know that they have been compromised. They have been corrupted. So we have to withdraw ourselves from the modern understanding of any form of religion, whether that be Islam or whether that be Christianity. Islam has been a tool. You know this. I don't have to tell you. You're living in Qatar. So you know this, that Islam is a tool that has been used to destroy many people on the continent of Africa. And so has Christianity, which has been proven by, again, the 104th Congress in 1996 that came before Congress. You can go and Google it, and they will pose that question. This is why religion has been taken from you, then re-given to you in a different form. It's no different from Ghana not having tomato paste manufacturing.
Yeah.
You grow all these beautiful tomatoes, but you buy your tomato paste from Italy and China.
It's true.
And their tomatoes have been compromised. It's the same concept.
I mean, you couldn't have said it any better. The way you just repackaged a whole thing now, that the same way they come here, take our natural resources, go back, process it, and bring them to us. That's the same way they came, took the religion, went back, reprocessed, and brought it back to us in a less effective way.
Absolutely.
So that they can have control over it. Because the form in which it was before they came, they couldn't have done anything about it, but they have to.
70% right now, 70% of Ghanaians, all Ghanaians say they're Christians.
Yeah.
And some of them would say they're good Christian.
Yeah.
Malcolm said when you hear a black man say he's a good Christian, he's saying he's a good white man. This is what Malcolm said. Malcolm said when you hear a black man say he's a good Christian, he's saying he's a good white man. And so, but think about it though. Think about the mindset of most Ghanaians. Respectfully, I love Ghana. I love the people here. I'm part Ghanaian.
Yeah.
I am Ghanaian.
Sure.
I love the people here. But religion has corrupted us in such a way that we don't even know who we are.
True.
And the other reason I wanted to bring you in Nungwa is because, you know, Nungwa, we still have the shrines here in the houses.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes. They have the shrines here in the houses, and they worship through their ancestral chains. Now, I want to go back to your question about whether or not we should worship our ancestors.
Yeah. Should we?
When you look at me, you're looking at my father.
Yeah.
If I show you a picture of my father, you'll be like, wow, you look just like him.
Father.
When you look at his father, wow, you look just like him. You look at his father,
Just like that.
that means that our ancestors are in our DNA.
True.
The difference is that the Africans knew how to call on the great names. Take, for example, the builder of the first step pyramid, Imhotep. There is a way to call that scientific energy up. There's a way to call it.
Yeah.
Now, let's say that you believe Yahshua, Jesus, whatever you want to call him, is one of your ancestors. There's a way to call that energy up, because within your DNA are the signatures of all of those that came before you.
True.
Take the argument. Watch Watch and understand even how Harriet Tubman freed slaves. She had a direct communication with the star systems. She had a direct communication with the spiritual system inside of her that guided her. Our ancestors can guide her, can guide us. Now, we need to go back to re-understanding those systems such that we can use those systems. Look, the most effective form of war, the most effective form of humanity is spiritual.
Okay.
The best war to fight is spiritual. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm understanding.
We have to go back and recollect and reconnect with our spiritual roots and our spiritual understandings. And this is how we get out of the situation.
I think we need to read, because everything you're talking about here, you are backing them up with, like, the Bible,
yeah, sure,
the books you read, whatever you did. I think we are not reading enough.
Sure.
Africa, we don't read enough. So I think the best thing is we need to read. Myself, like, you're opening my eyes to a lot of things that even before I edit this video, I need to research, I need to read.
Sure,
I don't want to put anything out there for people to just watch and think like you went to sit there for him to just, I mean, I will read, and I entreat everybody watching this to also read, so that I think we should be woke.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, you have really opened my eyes to this, and I think the decision is still in your hands. He has explained. You need to read and also get to know if everything he said is true or false. And after reading, it's only when you get to know if this is true. And I don't think he's lying to me, because I keep nodding my head, because, like, I keep waking up. Everything is, I mean, it's like a flashback. Okay, this thing happened here, this thing happened here. Like, you are really enlightening me, and I believe you've enlightened a lot of people over there. If there's anything last you would like to say about this religion and how it has impacted Africa.
Well, just, you know, one of the things that they took away from us also is the power of our symbols.
Okay.
And like Neomi, this right here means God is supreme.
Yes,
God is supreme.
Yeah.
Right. So when you see it, you know that God is supreme. Right. But the symbol alone is not enough, because that God that's supreme, guess where he is? He's in me.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Quran says that God is as close to you as your jugular vein. The Quran says God is as close to you as your jugular vein, your main artery.
Okay.
And in 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 16 of the Bible, it says that your body is the temple of God, and the Spirit of God dwelleth in you. So if God is supreme, where is that supreme God? Come on, brother. Now we're African. Forget.
I believe there is a heaven somewhere.
Oh, brother, that's a whole nother conversation. There is a heaven somewhere. You know where it is? It's right here on earth.
It's right here on earth.
Right here on earth.
So there's no heaven elsewhere.
If you wanna argue from a Christian perspective, you have to go back to the word shamayim, which means heaven in Hebrew. And heaven in Hebrew, shamayim, is a high state of consciousness.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
What's up, Sly?